the December 4th Town Council special meeting. Let the record read that the entire council here are present. At this time, let's have the honor of the Pledge of Allegiance. So I got it. At this time, is there approval of the minutes of the November 21st public hearings?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Of the minutes of the November 21st.
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Of the minutes of the November 21st.
So moved.
Second. Aye.
Aye.
Hi, my name is Daniel Duvall, 3610 Chesapeake Beach Road, Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. On the agenda, I submitted written public comment, and my comment was addressing ordinance 02414, 02415, 02416. The minutes for the town council meeting do not reflect that. They only show it as 02415. Furthermore, I've submitted electronically and in paper copy a petition objecting to the emergency ordinances. I've already collected signatures and emails and confirming this. I believe that reason for an emergency ordinance, this does not fulfill that. The petition reads, "We, the undersigned residents of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, respectfully petition the town council to rescind the recent emergency ordinance enacted on December 4th, 2024 regarding the separation and severance package of Town Administrator Holly Wall. While we respect and acknowledge Ms. Wall's contribution to the town, we firmly believe that the passage of this ordinance under an emergency ordinance does not align with the principles, transparency, fiscal responsibility, and the public trust that underpin our local governance. Reasons for opposition. 1, the matter does not constitute an emergency. Under the Maryland Open Meetings Act, General Provisions, Title 3, the Maryland Annotated Code, emergency meetings are reserved for situations where unforeseen circumstances demand immediate attention to protect public health, safety, or essential government operations. Approving a severance package for a resigning employee does not meet this standard for urgency. This matter could and should have been addressed during a regular or special noted meeting that allowed for proper public notice and participation. 2, the lack of transparency and public engagement. The Open Meeting Act emphasizes the importance of public notice and participation in government decisions making to promote and trust and accountability. Residents were not adequately informed or given the opportunity to provide input on this ordinance, which involves significant financial implications for the town's budget. This lack of transparency undermines confidence in the council's decisions-making process. 3, questionable use of taxpayer funds. The ordinance authorizes a 6-month severance package along with payment for accrued vacation leave to be distributed in a lump sum. While we appreciate Ms. Wall's service, the financial burden of this package taxpayers has not been fully justified, debated publicly. Furthermore, I have submitted a public information request on August 1st, 2024 that requested all the monies paid to Ms. Wall for 2023 and 2024 to date on August 1st, and that has not been provided to me. I spoke with the Attorney General's office today in regards to that. Responsible government requires careful consideration of such expenditures, especially when alternative uses of taxpayer funds such as infrastructural improvements and essential services may warrant higher priority. Our request, we call on the town council to rescind the emergency ordinance. The ordinance should be invalid due to its improper use of the emergency designation. The matter should be deferred to a properly noticed meeting that complies with the Maryland Open Meetings Act's commitment to transparent governance. Ensure that all future decisions involving substantial financial commitments or significant public interest are made in an open and transparent manner with ample notice and the opportunity for public input. Please
Thank you,
urge
sir.
this council to
Excuse me, sir. Thank you. You're the public comment?
Good evening. My name is Deborah Buckingham, 3806 28th Street. And I will repeat what Mr. Duval said as well, but also, where is the threat to the public and safety and health when issuing this emergency meeting? Neither of the three items that you have for tonight's meeting meets that criteria to have an emergency meeting here tonight. I suggest that we not have this meeting at this time and recess it until we have a session in where people can give public opinion to this. And I don't believe that Ms. Wall deserves any severance for the things that she has done to myself and other town residents. Thank you.
Any other comment this time? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Baralt, and I reside at 7409 B Street in Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. And I just wanted to personally and professionally thank Holly Wall for her service, for your professionalism, your availability, your responsiveness, your tenacity, and your knowledge. I think there were a few, both personally, as I said, and professionally as the former chair of the Planning and Zoning, anytime that I came to you and asked you for some background or some information about a specific topic, you always made yourself available to me, and you always provided the information. And if you didn't have it readily, which that never happened, I mean, your mind is just vast with the knowledge in it. But if you didn't have it immediately, as I said, which never happened, you got back to me, and also many times followed up with actual documents to show and reflect what you had said to me. So I thank you for your last 8 years of service. It's certainly never easy to be in the public, and certainly as an administrator, you have taken a lot of the criticism when it doesn't belong to you. So thank you, and I wish you Godspeed.
Any other comment at this time?
Yes, sir.
Anthony Green,
Anthony Green in the flesh. You got a full house today, man.
15 days from sitting up here, huh?
Almost there. Y'all making it scary, too. All right, Anthony Green, 8541 East Street. This would be simple. Don't worry. It's not a scolding. That would be senseless. It's more of an observation. Okay? I had a great conversation with Holly. I respect her as a person. I do. And I respect the sitting council and the mayor just as well. If I were in Holly's shoes and the incoming mayor ran on the platform saying that when we get in, you're going to have to be gone, I would secure my financial stability as well. I understand that, you know. But what I don't understand is the idea of resigning and then receiving severance, if that is in fact what is happening, because that's not a privilege that the rest of us receive. It kind of reeks of unfairness and honestly disdain for your constituents. It's a noticeable tell, and it shows a sort of carelessness for the people of Chesapeake Beach to not have your ducks in a row when presenting this to the town. The situation being handled so sloppily is another scar on our town's psyche, and folks have been going through it these past few months. I understand their frustration. We don't have clarity. And the moves being made during this administration's exit seem calculated and not very transparent. Why would there even be an inference of clearing indemnification in any legal matters that would be regarded to her time of employment here? It's almost as if the administration is punishing the town members who do not vote in their favor, and I hope that is not the case, but the slapdash antics that don't make this particular ordinance seem simple and plain and above board from over 50 years of political experience sitting before us is disheartening. I really hope that our incoming administration is paying attention, learning, and will persistently work together to do better. I say again, I respect you all. Holly, I wish you the best. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to work with you. But we need to do better with this for the people in the town. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Do you comment at this time?
Randy Getman, 3248 Ina Chase, also your chairman for the Board of Elections. It's funny that the former chairman for Planning and Zoning came up to talk, and I'm coming up to talk. What would I have done for the last 2 elections if it wasn't for Holly Wall? I don't know. She is fantastic. She always helps. I can't think of any time, I'm like Kathleen, I can't think of any time when she wasn't able to help me. And maybe there were a few where we had to both research something, but she was always there. She was always helpful. And she has a way of getting it out and getting it on the website and getting the information out. I don't understand why people can stand up here and say lack of communication. I've never seen so much communication for the last 8 years. I've even had some of the people talk to me and say, I wish they wouldn't send so much. This is not the way. Doing I understand, I like Bruce Wall, and he's going to be our next mayor. But to campaign on getting rid of the town administrator because she did what she was supposed to do, I don't think that was the right way to handle it. I have no issues with Bruce Wall wanting to pick his own town administrator. That's your number one person. I don't have a problem with that. Probably shouldn't have put it out in his mailer. I wish he wouldn't have done that. But I have a lot of respect for Bruce. But Holly, I want to thank you for the great job you've done over the last almost 8 years. And thanks for all the support that you gave to me in running the Board of Elections and running the elections themselves. Thanks so much.
Sir?
And don't let her down.
Any other comments at this time? Yes, ma'am. Used to sit up here, as I remember. I said you used to sit up here, as I remember.
Once a very long time ago. I'm Jan Rutke. I live at 7624 Bayside Road. This is probably the most polarizing time I've ever experienced in the beach. It's been hard on everybody. But I am so grateful for Holly. I hope I don't cry. Your professionalism, your passion, your commitment to this town is impressive for a town of any size, never mind this little wee place that we live in. Everything I believe that you've ever done has been in the best interest of the town to put us on solid footing, whether it be fiscal or otherwise. But the thing that's always amazed me about you is I picture you sitting in your office or being on site somewhere, and you're patting your head and rubbing your stomach or whatever, maybe it's the reverse, but you do it effortlessly and with panache, and I can't do it to this day. You will be sorely missed. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, ma'am. Any other comment at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to Roman numeral 7. Introduce and vote on emergency ordinance EO 24-20, an emergency ordinance of the town of Chesapeake Beach regarding the separation of Hollywell Town Administrator. After a first and second, I will lead off with comment, by the way. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
I'll begin comment with you, madam, but I'm going to go first. I meant comment from the council. As mayor, it is my responsibility to protect our town and our coffers from liabilities, both present and future. It is also my responsibility to nurture a thriving workforce, to actively create and maintain a positive work environment where employees feel valued, supported, and empowered to reach their full potential, leading to high engagement, productivity, and job satisfaction. Town Administrator Holly Wall and I have done just that. I am most proud of her for that. Holly follows the law and the instructions of the town council. Under her leadership these past 8 years, the town is in sound fiscal position. 8.5 years ago, our town administrator was wrongfully terminated. He received a settlement, and the town is still paying for this mistake via higher insurance premiums with the local government insurance trust. 8.5 years later, we're still paying for it. We must not become a town where qualified recruits, the best of the best, like Holly Wall, will not come to work here due to the reputation of this town for mistreating staff for doing excellent work. The severance package is very reasonable. It's lower than it should be, quite frankly. I consulted with the International City Managers Association for guidance on this issue. I reviewed publicly available separation agreements of city-town managers in the United States in 2024. In many cases, severance was granted, although the situation involved indictments, performance issues, and other matters, none of which are relevant to Mrs. Wall's employment with the town. Based on Holly Wall's quantified performance for the town and the defamation of her character in the performance of her duties, I believe what is proposed is perfectly on target, even low on the scale. Holly Wall was the best hire that this town ever made, a woman of great integrity who I admired to no end.
I hope you listen carefully to this. A previous firing of an employee went to court. We as a town lost that court case. We as a town are still paying for this action as a town annually. This removes that risk. I hope you understand that. Holly is by far the best town administrator we have had, at least during my 20 years of service in this town. The town has never been so well informed nor so well handled. Any decision or actions by Holly were under the direction of the mayor and followed the rules or laws passed by town council. Period. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Fink.
I had a lot of notes written down, and I'm going to just be very brief. This is what happens when we abandon civility. It's that simple. And I had a whole set of comments, and Jan Rucke really hit on it. My peers here will cover a lot of the salient points. This is what happens when you abandon civility. The things that were shared with me that were said about Holly on Facebook are abhorrent and shocking. Shouldn't be shocking, but they still managed to shock me. What should be happening right now is there should be a transition. I don't begrudge the new mayor and the new administration for wanting to hire their own people. There should be a transition because when Holly leaves, love her or hate her, 8 years of knowledge will leave with her. And it will make the new mayor and new council's job all the harder. Thank you.
Councilman?
Have just one brief comment to offer on this, and I think it's important that everyone in the town understands. As Mr. Getman pointed out, in the incoming administration has made it clear that they will terminate Ms. Wall very quickly. As part of this, I'll call it settlement, we've reached agreement that Ms. Wall will sign a release statement. And in that release statement, it states that she will not pursue any further legal action against the town of Chesapeake Beach. I would just like to point out that whether you believe there's merits to either side of that issue, legal proceedings would cost much more than what the settlement is going to cost the town. So this is a compromise solution to end this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Morris?
My comments aren't as brief. It's not a big surprise. I'll try to truncate a little, but we don't want to mince words here either. Holly Wall has been an excellent use of taxpayer funds, period. Primary reasons for offering a severance package are to soften the blow of an involuntary termination and to avoid future lawsuits by having the employees sign a release in exchange for the severance. We are in a bit of a unique situation here because of local politics. Hindsight being 2020, I'm not sure. Well, it was the new administration's choice to delve into the issues that they did the way they did. We know that there's ongoing issues, and we transferred to you folks. We are not severing. However, the incoming administration has made it, I want to say this, the incoming administration has made it abundantly clear that they will promptly sever ties with Ms. Wall when assuming office later this month, and in fact, do not want Holly Wall here in office when they arrive, that was said. Severance packages are in fact negotiating with officers when they are forced to leave. And in my opinion, Holly Wall is being forced to leave. Holly Wall has been an outstanding administrator for this town for 8 years and has brought this town into the 21st century. Please compare all available records from 8 years ago to the records we have today, and including communication with local residents and in the building of our website. It's been tremendous. It's been a huge lift. And I think I've said it many times that we're light years from where we were 8.5 years ago. That's not to begrudge previous administrations because they've had their hands full with other things. It's all the town as far as the residents are concerned. But this town is in the best financial shape it has ever been in. That seems to be getting buried in this conjecture. And I'll blame that again on local politics and those who don't want to pay attention when we're presenting some facts. Yes, all of the decisions I have not agreed with, and some I've outright opposed. They've been painful to weather. But holistically, take a look at the financial report provided to the last town council meeting. Take a look at the financial report provided at the last town council meeting, and you tell me if Holly Wall was a poor choice for use of taxpayer funds. It's breathtaking the difference we are from 8 years. There was quite a bit more too that the mayor was asking for on this. The council could not agree. It's resulting in the existing situation in the proposal. We need the release signed that puts a period on this, so there's nothing coming back on the back end of this for things done previously. That's going to be important. And not having it is a non-starter for me for sure. We need the release. Everybody needs the release. And we want a clean break for the next administration and nothing else. That's important too. If the terms are not agreeable, I would certainly be a no. But the termination may likely, someone might say, why not just let things take its course? Let Holly show up for work for the new administration day one, where incoming stakeholders have resoundingly stated that they're going to terminate her. The termination would likely result in a lawsuit for the town, probably in a larger degree than the previous lawsuit that was commented on here earlier. So this is a yes vote for me. It certainly includes employees signing the mentioned release. Our administration is also attempting to provide a clean start for the next administration. There's no real smoke and mirrors and underhanded, sneaky shit going on here, folks. In part, tonight's actions help avoid starting out in a quagmire. Guys, you folks have got your hands full, and the new group of elected officials, they've got their hands full, and the election is over, and it's time for them to get to work. There isn't anybody more excited than I am for the next leaders to stop looking backwards and start walking forwards. You've got your hands full, and I'll certainly be rooting for your success, and I'm in favor of this ordinance. Thank you, Holly, for your 8 years of commitment, dedication. It's been unparalleled.
Marsh. Councilman Pardick.
Thank you. So, wow, I think it's all been said. And I'm in total agreement with everything I've heard so far, and I support this ordinance. And Holly, I would just like to thank you for your 8 years. I think you've been nothing but professional and courteous and have brought the town to a really great place that it is now. Because I do remember what it was like 8 years ago and the communication not going out. And I think everybody should be much more informed than they were. And so anyway, definitely appreciate that.
I'd like to start with asking whether Todd could comment on the remark made that this was not a legal or allowed emergency session.
Just really, it's not my job to comment right there, especially with comments on the comments. But we would not be here tonight if I thought something illegal was going on.
Thank you. There's been a number of emails coming out about wasting taxpayer dollars here to do this particular action. We know they're taxpayer dollars. We pay those taxpayer dollars. We've been paying those taxpayer dollars this whole time. Taxpayer dollars are also paid when we have a facility like the water treatment plant, which does not charge flat fees at that time. And we have a lot of houses in Chesapeake Beach, which are second homes, third homes, occasionally used homes. They didn't have to pay for their water because they didn't use it. But the town did have to support that water and sewer was available to those people in case they came in. One of the reasons for the flat fee was to equalize the balance between people's second homes who didn't have to pay for water and have them start to pay their fair share for the infrastructure. When I joined this council, there was an enormous debt to the water treatment plant, from the water treatment plant to the general fund. The general fund are your tax dollars. So basically, taxpayers paid for people to not necessarily get all their capital collections. And I'm not talking about anybody specific. Generically, it happened. When people didn't happen to have that done, taxpayer dollars paid to have it done. When people had water that they didn't have to pay for connection all the time because they only used it once every 3 months, taxpayer dollars paid for that. And there was a massive debt that was made on the general fund for the water treatment plant because taxpayers paid it. With the water park, there was another large debt with the water park against the general fund. That means taxpayer dollars paid for the water park. One of the reasons is because we had very, very low rates and very high expenses. People were able to come from out of town. If you're a town resident, maybe taxpayer dollars can go to paying for you to attend the park. But people from all over came and attended the park for dead cheap rates, and taxpayers paid for it. With this action, I've also heard, well, that we're paying for her not to sue us. Not true? Well, in a way true. But anybody who signs a severance package signs an agreement to say the severance package ends the relationship with the person and the entity, and no further action will be taken. That is standard with every service package. And I'm in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0. Ordinance passes. Next, introduce and vote on emergency ordinance EO-24-21, an emergency ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, amending the annual budget for the general fund of the Town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, to allocate funds from the general fund unassigned fund balance to authorize an emergency stormwater pump purchase for future improvements in the removal and replacement of Beach Elementary School tennis courts, and for wage expenses related to employee separation. Is there a motion to approve? Your comment? Sir.
I just wanted to offer the comment to the general public that it's important to understand this emergency ordinance would not approve any additional expenditures. They have already been approved. This is simply reallocating money from the general fund. And if the incoming administration has issues with that, they can take that up when they come on board and change it. But this is not a new expenditure. These were already approved. We are just reallocating budget money. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morris?
No comment.
No comment.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0. It passes. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Thank you, everybody.
And Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to offer the comment that this is not how I thought my 8 years would end. I'm very sad at that, but thank you all for
I
your
agree.
service.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you around town.
Yes, we will. Thank you.